So ladies, we're just starting on our backs using a brick or a rolled up blanket just to lift up the chest. So if you grab your bits and pieces. So you can brick, maybe even covering the brick with a blanket, just something you can put a bit of height underneath your chest, and then have a strap nearby to grab hold of. You can use anything, a scarf is great, and have a bolster close by as well. So we're just going to spend a minute or two lifting up the heart center and basically doing the opposite of sitting, where our shoulders are rolled forward and our head is poking forward. So this is a very nice passive stretch through the chest muscles. If you find it's too much on your neck, just place a little folded blanket underneath your head. Similarly, if you feel it is a bit much on your lower back, lift your bottom up with a folded blanket here. I like to put feet together and knees apart, but sometimes that's quite strong on the hip flexors. So if that's the case for you, just let your feet drape out like so. And we're just going to spend 5 deep full breaths in this lifted position, holding the top of the breath for a beat or two, and then going ha, and sighing the breath out. So full deep breath in, hold, ha. And it's like you're gathering up all the rushing and all the doing, holding it, and then just letting it go. Ah. Ah. Good. One more slow one of those. Ah. Fantastic. I'm going to get you to bend your knees, push the floor away, and shuffle your prop underneath your pelvis. So you might find if you've just got a rolled blanket that you need to get a pillow instead. We want a bit of height here. So I've got my brick on the lower side and a blanket over the brick. And we're just letting the pelvis settle, the lower back settle, the sacrum at the back of the pelvis settle into the brick. Taking a couple of slow breaths, and this time focusing the breath down into the belly. So it feels as if you're filling your belly up as you breathe in. In fact, we're just extending the breath down and out underneath the armpits, and you'll find that your belly just kind of rises up as you expand those lungs, really filling them. And then make sure your exhalation is complete. There's no more puff at the bottom of your lungs. So there's plenty of space for the next slow, stretched out breath in. And then slow, full exhalation out. I'm going to get you to take your right knee and draw it up towards your chest here, and slide your left leg away so we start to get deeper into these hip flexors. If you find that the knee doesn't straighten, that's absolutely fine. Just go to where you can feel a decent stretch through the front of the pelvis and a little bit on the hamstrings as well. And then taking the hand above the head, we want to take a big stretch as we inhale, fingers and toes stretching away from each other, and then a recoil on the exhalation. So a lengthening stretch, and then just soften on that exhalation. A dynamic pulse with the breath to encourage the long stretched out breath. Good. Bring both knees up and out. Just pause for a moment as you roll your feet around. So we massage into the ankles. Getting into these inner thigh muscles. Maybe even just give them a gentle rub. Wake those guys up. And then sliding your left knee up as you take your right foot away from you. Pause for a moment. As you breathe out, see if you can melt the leg down a little bit more. Taking the arm above the head. Breathe in to stretch. Breathe out to soften. Breathe in to stretch. And soften to drape. That's the way. And then bring your knees up together and start to push your feet up towards the ceiling. So give yourself a couple of pulses with heels pressing up towards the ceiling. And then massage your feet around. So we get a lovely rotation through the ankles. Maybe take your hands up and do the wrists as well as the ankles. Slow, full rotations. If you've been working at the desk all day, it's really nice just to give a bit of love to the ankle joints, to the wrist joints. So let's pull fingers and toes towards the eyes, pressing the heels of the feet and the heels of your hands away from you. And then point fingers and toes. And then pull them back. And then point them. That's it. Pull them back. And then point them. And then just let them be floppy and give everything a jiggle. Give your wrists a jiggle. Give your ankles a jiggle. Let the jiggle go down your legs, down your arms, into pelvis, into shoulders. Give your jaw a jiggle. And make a nice, long, low bit of sound out on that exhalation. Good. Now grab your strap or your scarf, whatever you're using tonight, and hook the ball of the feet, so not the arches, the balls of the feet, with your prop, and gently start to pull the straps down. So ideally you're not pulling your head up, your head is just resting, your shoulders are resting, elbows maybe even resting down into the ground, and gently starting to pull the balls of the feet towards you so the heels have to press away from you, and then consciously press the back of your pelvis into your brick, or if you're on a pillow or folded blanket, just pressing downwards, backwards, like you're giving yourself a little mini arch through the lower back. And that's going to increase the hamstring stretch here and the calf stretch. So push away with the heels, press back with the pelvis, away with the heels, back with the pelvis. And then let's do the inner thighs first. So take your legs wide on your strap. Now hopefully your strap is long enough. If it's not, you'll have to do this without the strap. So we want to, again, press the heels away from us and push the back of the pelvis onto your prop, your brick. Make sure shoulders are nice and relaxed. Let's give the jaw another wriggle. And a couple of big yawning sort of mobilizations. You can feel where you're holding tension in your jaw. Oh. And throughout the whole practice, see if you can keep imagining that as you exhale, your lower jaw is unwinding from your upper jaw. Slide your feet back towards each other. Keep the left foot in the strap. Take the right foot out. So again, an opening stretch. This time though, we are focusing more on the left side. So we're bringing the right knee down, gently pressing into the inside of that right knee and pressing out with the left heel. A bit of a stronger stretch down that left side. Keep the shoulders relaxed to encourage these adductor muscles to relax. We want to make sure that the upper body is consciously relaxing. Notice how relaxed you can make the muscles around your eyes. Good. Use your breath out to draw your feet back towards each other. Swap to the other side. Gently taking that right leg out, left knee bent. So now focusing more on that right inner thigh. These muscles work straight into your pelvic floor, and unfortunately for many of us, they're very tight, and that tends to reflect in the pelvic floor muscles. So we can really help everything to release here. Release, 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 and then we can replenish. You want to make sure that you are encouraging the muscles to release by consciously releasing any tension you have around your face and around your neck. Beautiful. On the exhalation, bring those legs together. I'm going to get you to take your prop out from underneath you for a moment. Leave those aside and take your feet directly underneath your knees. We're just going to roll up and down the spine a few times. So massage the spine and hydrate the vertebra. Gently bringing a bit of space between the vertebra. Push the feet down into the ground so you activate your hamstrings and your gluteal muscles as you come up. So warming up the back, and then pause here, and you can either use your brick, just pushing it on the middle side underneath your pelvis, or draw your shoulders underneath you and maybe interlace your hands. If you can't interlace the hands easily, press the fingers down into your mat. And we just want to open the front line of the body again, a different way this time. So pushing your knees away from you, send your knees across to the other side of the room, and see if you can lift and open your chest here. Good. Just a couple of breaths in this quite deeply opening pose, and then take your shoulders out. And I want you to imagine you're pulling the vertebra apart as you slowly come down. So it'll take a few breaths to draw you down, one vertebra at a time. And then just let your back settle into the ground. Take a few breaths. So you're consciously relaxing psoas, consciously relaxing lower belly. Take the arms out to the side. Keep the feet wide. In fact, take the feet a bit wider. And drop the knees from side to side. Doing this quite slowly. So exhale, tummy button to spine, up and over. Gently pressing down. The inside of that top knee is searching down towards the ground. And then an exhalation, tummy button to spine, and gently pressing inside of that top knee, gently pressing down. Tummy button to spine, up and over. This is just going to help us to look after the lower back. Gently pressing down. Gently pressing down. Beautiful. Bring your knees to your chest and do some big circles with your knees. That's the way. Nice big circles. One direction, other direction. And then taking your right ankle on top of your left knee, gently start to bring that left knee in so you can feel the stretch right down into your glutes. I'm going to massage that foot around again as well. And we have these acupressure points in the middle of the foot. So right underneath the pink bit of the foot, the ball of the foot, where that intersects
into the arch of the foot, the white bit of the foot, right in the center. If you get your thumb or both thumbs and just massage into that point as you gently draw this left knee in, letting that right knee drop out. And then consciously relax your upper back muscles. So see if you can melt your upper back muscles into the mat. Consciously relax your jaw, your cheeks. Do some nice sighing breaths out. Good. And give your foot a slap. So the base of your foot, the sole of your foot, give it a little slap with the open hand. A bit of circulation down into these feet. Lovely. Other side. So the ball of the foot and the arch of the foot right bang in the middle there. Gently drawing that right knee in, getting the stretch into that left glute. And then I like to do little circles with the thumb. And then as you're pressing here, do the conscious face relax, the conscious shoulder relax. Good. And then one more while we're on our back, baby pose. So either grabbing hold of your calf muscles, your ankles, or maybe the arches of the feet, and just rocking from side to side. So as we go from one side of the spine to the other, see if you can get a nice feeling of massage across your back. Wonderful. So getting the pelvis and the legs warmed up. I'm going to get you to warm up your shoulder girdle now. So if you roll over to one side and take your brick again, or your rolled up blanket. So we want to make a height just underneath the head, which puts our head in a nice line down to our pelvis. So we don't want to have our head too far up and we don't want to have our head too far down. We just want to have a nicely propped head. Bottom arm all the way out. Top fingers on your forehead. Drop the elbow down and then take a nice deep breath in as the elbow goes back. Now you don't want to roll all the way onto your back. You're still just propped with the right side of your body. And we pause as soon as you start to feel the twist and you feel that that's enough. Exhale to close. Inhale slowly. You'll find you can go back a tiny bit more the second time. Breathing in to open, elbow back. Breathing out to close. And as you open, deepen your breath. See if you can get a little bit closer with that elbow down onto the mat behind you. Bit by bit, breath by breath, opening this tight area for many of us, really tight, and the thoracic spine, so round about bra strap height can get really, really tight. So this is a nice one to unwind and release some of that built up tension. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. Now, pause with your elbow behind you. Turn your head to face forward. That's it. Just close your eyes for a moment. Really tune into your shoulder. Soften the muscles around your eyes again. Now you might be able to unfurl that arm, so stretch your fingertips out. So you still have your arm up in the sky. It's not dropped right down, because otherwise we'd be in a full twist. So we're still just in this side lying position with arm behind us. If this feels too much on your shoulder, just bring the hand back to your forehead or your temple, sorry, and let the elbow drop back behind you. Now you want to sigh the breath out. Deep full breath in, sigh the breath out, and then slowly take the hand down and then up by your ear and then behind you and all the way down. So you're tracing a full circle with that arm, really nice and slow, right behind you. And if there's a point where you just need to pause somewhere around that clock face, where you just need to hold the arm, do that for a couple of moments, just letting the arm drape to a point where you're like, oh, that feels, there's the bit, that's the point. Good. And when you're ready, just come with your hand by your hip and roll the shoulder up and back a couple of times, nice and loose. Ah, good. I'm just going to roll over to the other side, but you could just roll over backwards, just so I can still see you. So bottom arm out. It's amazing, isn't it, when you've done one side, how different they feel. So bottom arm out, top arm, fingers on the forehead, drop the elbow, and then elbow back. And just notice it won't go too far before you can feel that stretch, but bit by bit, breath by breath, you're going to find that the mobility increases. It's very satisfying as you get a bit more movement. Breathing in, dropping elbow back, breathing out. Well done, that's it. It's nice to close your eyes when you're doing this and be absolutely focused on your shoulder girdle. So you can almost feel the breath infusing the muscle fibers and opening them, creating space. This time when you come back, just leave your elbow there. Slowly start to move the head so that you stretch into the scalings, into the neck, as well as his pectoral muscles. And this might be enough, so you might just be staying here for a bit, allowing gravity to help you open these chest muscles. If you want to, try unfurling the fingertips. Notice if you pull out through your middle finger, there's a slightly nervy stretch, the lung 1 meridian. Going right down through the inside of the arm and into these chest muscles. And then have a play. So start to slowly move the arm to take it into that circle. And if you find a point where the shoulder feels like it just needs to stay and rest and let gravity do its thing, then by all means just have a play, have a pause, a stretch. It's going to be very different on all of us. And the key is to keep the breath long and smooth. If you're finding it becomes at all juddery, it means the stretch is a bit too much. So you want to bring fingers to forehead and do a similar thing. You might stretch it out a little bit, but be very mindful. That's it. One more rotation. Wonderful. And just give that shoulder a couple of lifts and rolls. And we want to see if we can get them to sit in the back of the socket. So if we would do a little bit of activation through the back line of the body now. Having stretched the front line, let's activate the back line. So take your props to the side for a moment and come into some gentle cobras. Fingers right in beside your shoulders, elbows right in. Tops of the feet can be quite wide on your mat. Push the tops of the feet into the mat, activate your legs. Take a nice deep breath in and just see if you can lift up off the mat a tiny bit. And it's just that activation of the little muscles around your spine on that breath in as your lungs inflate that allow you to draw up and then drape back down again. Next time you come up, slide your forearms forward to come into Sphinx pose, and then pull the mat towards you as you let your chest draw forward, shoulders down. I'm just going to pause here for a couple of breaths so we can get a bit more space through the vertebra. Imagine you have weights at the base of your shoulder blades, so they slide down your back. Your arms are pushing to the back of the sockets. Chest is open. And then shuffle your elbows a little bit wider, so you're almost a cactus with your arms, and drop one shoulder a little bit and look over the other shoulder. So again, we're just getting a bit more into those shoulders, now going to the neck as well. Into the center, a gentle drop to the other side. Into the center, a gentle draping kind of drop. That's the way. And then one hand on top of the other hand, forehead is resting, shoulders are relaxed now. I'm going to get you to take your toes in and your heels out and just rock the pelvis from side to side. Great massage through your lower belly into your intestines. So really nice if you're feeling a bit bloaty, a bit gassy. This is a good one. And then pause there, switching on your pelvic floor muscles. So I'm going to get you just to feel the front of the pelvic floor around the urethra, activating like you're stopping yourself weeing, and then just zipping up towards your tummy button and then releasing down. So just doing a couple of these to make sure our core muscles are activated. If we've got a bit of twinginess in the lower back, this can be really helpful just to make sure core is able to switch on, core starting at pelvic floor. Beautiful. And then roll that right shoulder up, slide it down, so it's sitting right at the back of the socket, grabbing hold of ankle. You might need your belt to put around your ankle. So we always want to use hand on ankle, not toes. And then you're pushing your whole pelvis down into the ground. So pubic bone pushing down. It's like your whole bikini line area is spreading into the ground. Stretching the front of your thigh, so into the quadriceps and into the hip flexors. And try adding that long, low vibrational sound. So a sighing breath out or a buzzy bee breath out. However you can make your breath the longest. And on the second breath out, see if you can rainbow your ankle from side to side. So you just kind of move your whole foot by the ankle from side to side, taking that stretch right across the front of your thigh. Beautiful. Dropping that leg, give it a tap. Rolling the left shoulder up, sliding it down your back, grabbing hold of your ankle. And then again, slow, long exhalation, bit of noise, bit of low vibrational noise with that exhalation, pressing the pelvis down into your mat. Quite a strong stretch. When we open the front of the pelvis, the hip flexors and the quadriceps, quite often we find that if we have had a twingy lower back, the twinginess goes. So it's really important to make sure that we're not getting all tight and bunchy around the front of the psoas muscles. So long breath out, little bit of a rainbow, moving the ankle gently from side to side to massage right across the front of that thigh. You might find that one part just needs to pause, bit of an extra stretch. Beautiful, dropping it down, taking a moment just to rest here, maybe wobbling from side to side. And then hands by shoulders, pushing yourself back into an extended child pose. I like to take the wrists off the mat. So fingers on the mat, wrists off the mat. A really nice long stretch all the way through the spine. Good. Now, shuffle the knees a little bit further apart and just allow yourself to drape your chest down with your bum slightly higher. So it's a bit more of a draping puppy dog stretch here. You might need to turn your head from one side to the other, or if it's too much on shoulders, just fold the forearms. It's an alternative like so. So be very conscious of relaxing around the back of the pelvic floor now. So you want to allow around the anus to really soften as you're taking your sitting bones nice and wide, also stretching into your inner thigh muscles. Beautiful. Slowly bring yourself up. Bring the knees together, but take your right foot out to the side. Let's come over here so you can see my foot a bit better. So little toe edge pressing down to the ground. Send your bottom back again and send your fingertips forward. So now we're getting deeper into those inner thighs and the glutes and the pelvic floor. We're spreading those ribs, so getting lots of space to breathe. Now you might want to add to this by taking this this right hand over to the left side. So right hand tucking underneath, shoulder down towards the ground, turning the head as well, gently putting side of the head onto the mat. Beautiful. So unfurling, bring yourself back from that pretzel shape. Other side. So I'm just going to turn front on so you can see my foot here. Little toe edge dropping down, bum going back, fingers out. Maybe try taking that left hand now over to the right. And you just want to kind of soften with each exhalation down, like you're melting like wax, draping downwards. Making sure your neck feels super comfortable, chin tucking right in. And slowly bring yourself back up again for some cat-cows. So nice wide fingers. Knees directly underneath the pelvis. Let's just massage those wrists actually a little bit. So a little bit of a circle here, one side, and then the other. And then lift your sitting bones, spread them, and then draw the sitting bones towards each other. I like to imagine if I had a tail, I'm lifting the tail behind me and then tucking the tail underneath to have a look at it, lifting the tail, tucking the tail. And once you've got the movement through your pelvis, imagine that the ripple effect of that lift or that tuck is lifting up through the spine so that you create this lovely arch, angry cat, and then slowly going into the slope of the cow. Do be mindful if you are slightly hypertonic, so a bit, have quite a bit of laxity in the lower back, in your lumbar spine, then can I suggest that you don't go into this full extension here. Instead, you just lift a little bit here, so we don't push the bum back too much. Do a little jiggle from side to side as you come from your cow into your cat. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle from one knee to the other. So you send this vibration up through your body. And now lifting the tail behind you and then swirling it in a nice big circle. So go right into those hips. Lovely big circles. That's the way. I like to let this circling go up through the torso and into the shoulders. One direction, other direction. Releasing, releasing. So all of this is the unwinding, unwinding, unwinding. Beautiful. Just allow yourself to drape down into a child pose. If you've got a bolster close by, you might put the bolster underneath you. Otherwise, knees together. Fold yourself down. Forehead on the ground or on stacked fists, or use your brick. So something underneath forehead. If you're reaching the ground, take your hands behind you as well. Let your shoulders be really relaxed. Let your tummy just kind of press into your thighs. So this is also a massage internally. Now, I do find that some people need to put a blanket underneath the tops of their feet. So if you're finding that your feet are super uncomfortable, take a blanket, just roll it so it's just a little, it's about that thick, and put it underneath the tops of your feet here. Just 3 more exhalations here, long, soft exhalations. Beautiful. Take the hands down, slowly push the floor away, slide yourself up so that you are kneeling. In fact, I'm just going to do a quick camel here to set our posture. We've done lots of opening the front line of the body. So try this. Come onto your knees. You might need a blanket underneath your knees. Tuck your toes. Lift and roll the shoulders so they're at the back of the sockets. Hands just support the pelvis. Gently draw the pubic bone and the heart center upwards, elbows coming together. Take some nice long smooth breaths through your nostrils. So I like to imagine
the breath is coming like a T shape up through the heart center, out to the shoulders. So we don't need to come into a big back bend. It's just enough to reset your posture. And then lift the crown of the head right up towards the ceiling. Draw the chin in, draw the base of the ribcage in. Let yourself just slowly come down. We're just going to come through a little flow sequence to replenish. So hands in the heart, elbows up high, shoulders are down. On a breath in, draw yourself up with elbows out, opening these chest muscles. As you breathe out, float back down again. So we breathe in, we squeeze bum muscles to allow us to come up, and then breathe out. Breathing in, that's it, smooth, breathing out. This time as you breathe in, take the hands up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, just float your hands down beside you. So it's a breath in, a flow up, a breath out, a flow down. A breath in, a flow up and down. And this time as you come up, just drop your arms behind you and then stretch them out. So we'll come into an extended child pose. Pausing just for a couple of breaths. Move your fingers over to the left. So we come to a lateral stretch. Slowly move them over to the right. So we come to a lateral stretch on that side. Come up onto hands and knees. Take your pelvis through a couple of cat-cow movements. Leave your tail up on an inhalation, tuck toes. Slowly on your exhalation, come into a down dog, but keep your knees bent. Roll shoulders away from your ears. Stretch your spine so that the vertebrae really draw away from each other. Then start to press the heels down as you also roll your shoulders away from your ears. Give your head a shake, make a bit of noise. So let your cheeks be soft and go. Now give your toes a massage. Give your ankles a massage. That's it. So really get into those calf muscles. Very good. Dropping down onto your knees, take your left foot forward. We're just going to draw ourselves forward into a lunge and dropping forward until you feel these quadriceps stretch. We've already opened them a bit, so you might be able to come a bit deeper than sometimes. Press the top of the foot into the ground and then draw the hands up and back. Thumbs back, little fingers forward. Breathing in deeply. This is the replenishment, fresh energy. Slowly take the hands down, placing them on either side of that front foot. Draw yourself onto your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Now this time, drop the knees across the midline of the body. So go right into those hips. Get those hips to wake up, fresh energy pouring into the pelvis. That's it. Give the head a little shake. Drop back onto the knees. Right foot forward. Left foot pressing into the mat. Draw yourself into your lunge. Maybe taking hands up as well. Deep, full breath in. Shoulders slide down. Beautiful. Slowly draw your hands to the front of the mat. Now slide that back foot up so that we come into a squat. Toes out, heels just on the mat, dropping yourself down. Forearms pressing those knees wide. Shoulders drawing back down. Chest is lifted. Gently stretching those inner thigh muscles, that's it. Softening the pelvic floor muscles.
That's it, hands down. Now turn your toes inwards. So we just had them out, turn your toes inwards, bend the knees and drape your chest down. So you're supporting your chest with your thighs, holding onto your forearms, rock from side to side. Again, softening those cheeks. Take a sigh out. Good. One more for the shoulders. Roll the shoulders up and back. Hands either on your pelvis and elbows up towards the ceiling, or interlace them. Maybe the opposite way than you normally do, and take the hands up towards the ceiling. And then see if you tip now, slightly tilt forward. We want to take the whole shoulder girdle upwards towards the ceiling. Soften the face. Long, long sigh out. There we go. Drop the hands down. Push the floor away. Slowly roll yourself up halfway. And then like a draping cow, drop back down again. So we cat up with our back. Cow down. Pushing the floor away. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling, coming up a little bit higher, inhaling and exhaling down, a little bit higher this time. Take the arms up as well, inhaling and exhaling, pushing the floor away, starting to get a bit more dynamic. Replenishing that energy, filling up. And all the way up. Hands down beside you. So lateral stretch to really open the lungs. Take the hands up, grabbing hold of your wrist. Feet are about 1 meter apart, up and over. So you're planting the foot down as you come up and over. Deep, full stretch. Breathing fully here. We're getting full lung capacity. Bend, take yourself into the center, grab the other wrist, up and over, pressing the heel down, beautiful. That's it. Tummy button to spine to come back into the center and hands down. Now keep your feet a little bit wider, dropping down into your goddess stance. And just take some nice wide swishes with your fingertips, palms facing forward. This is a lovely reboot to replenish your energy. Keeps you feeling nice and relaxed, but it's a wonderful way just to get the prana, the life force, to flow around the body. And I'm going to get you to imagine you are just releasing, rinsing off any residual tension here. So we're going to do the discus throwing movement to release it all. So throw the discus. And then go breathing out as you come down. Throw the discus and go ha as you come down. Ha. Ha. This is the kriya movement. It clears the lungs. Ha. Gets the energy flowing around the body. Ha. 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 Fantastic. Just give yourself a little tap through the upper back here. And then bring yourself across to your bit of wall. If you haven't got a bit of wall, don't worry. We're just doing a forward fold, and then we're going to put our legs up with the bolsters, so you can always do it without the wall. If you've got a wall, though, I quite like this because you can really get into the hamstrings. You just walk your bottom up. So if you don't have a wall, you're just doing it free, like so. If you've got a wall, feet a little bit away from the wall. And then we're going to drop one shoulder and then the other shoulder. And I want you to imagine that as you drop the shoulders, you're rinsing out, say, a dirty mop, and breathe out. Maybe even stick your tongue out, do lion breath. Very good. Dropping yourself down towards the ground. Ooh, there you go. Slide down. And then
taking your bolster. If you've got a wall, lie down with your legs up the wall. If you haven't got a wall, you're just lying down, putting your prop underneath your pelvis and taking your legs up towards the ceiling. Viparita. If you've got the wall, it's quite nice to rest your legs against the wall here. And the idea is to be like a waterfall. Arms above the head if you can, or out to the side. If you need to prop shoulders, do so. And I'm just going to get you to use this kind of waterfall-like position to imagine that any residual tension, any puffiness in the legs and the pelvis is just flowing out of you. So use your breath, use your visualization, and just allow this kind of line of energy to flow from the top down, down, down through the body, and imagine Mother Earth is just absorbing, capturing, holding anything that just needs to be taken from you right now. So staying in this position, if it feels comfortable for you. If you need to transition in the next 5 or so breaths so that you're just lying on the ground, then please do. But if you're comfortable here, then just stay with your legs up. I'm going to get you to really feel the heaviness of your feet. So let the awareness from your feet flow down legs and feel the weight of your legs into your pelvis. Feel your pelvis really weighted, heavy, supporting and holding your pelvic organs. Feel that lovely weightedness through your back into your upper back, encouraging tension in your upper back to dissipate, almost to melt, just to soften down into the ground. And feel the lovely holding sensation of your head, allowing the muscles of your neck to completely release, consciously softening. And now bring about a feeling of inner relaxation. So concentrate on your energetic body. Developing a global awareness of the body from the tops of your toes right down through to the very top of your head. And develop this complete stillness and this complete awareness of the whole of your body. And try to stay mentally very alert whilst you are allowing your body to become more and more relaxed. So relaxed that no external movement occurs. But you're very aware of the internal movement, the ripple effect of each breath. And just practice being still, being motionless in this propped posture. Practice being still, but without actually holding yourself still, just being in that state of such deep relaxation that no movement is occurring. And just being with yourself right here where you are,
completely relaxed, completely still. And in the midst of the stillness, in the midst of this not movingness, being aware of the natural movement of life happening within you. So feeling your body breathing all by itself, just watching the diaphragm working automatically. So releasing any control over the breath and just watching your body being breathed. Just feeling the flow of the breath in and out of the lungs. Natural, automatic. There's no effort here. Keeping this awareness tuned into the breathing action. Tummy rising and falling, synchronizing, extending, contracting. This movement orchestrated by this automatic breath. And whilst keeping this awareness of the flow through your body, sliding your awareness, part of your awareness, to the very tip of your nostrils. And just noticing the sensations of the movement of the air at your nostrils. Noticing that each breath is a bit different from the one before. And probably the air will be flowing more freely through one nostril than the other. And just feel if this is so. And let it be that way without intervening. Just knowing each breath is so different. With this conscious awareness, you're simply riding your breath. Knowing that when we watch the breath in this way, it places us squarely in this moment in time, because each breath you take is only happening in the now. And if you're feeling the movement of the breath in your body, then your conscious awareness is precisely where it needs to be in order for you to experience with clarity the energy that you are in this moment in time. So in this moment, just allow yourself to truly experience the peace of centered stillness. And almost as if you're standing outside of yourself, just observing your body. Start to bring a bit of movement into your fingers and into your toes. If you've got your legs still at the wall, very slowly slide your knees down. Very, very slowly, watching your body as your body fluidly starts to fold itself down, rolling to one side. Very slowly, very aware of the water content of the body, of the trillions and trillions of cells, the condensed energy that makes up the body.
And when you're ready, just placing the hands on the ground and pushing the floor away and watching how fluidly you can make this body of yours sit up. And take a moment to roll the head, maybe even roll the shoulders. Again, almost like you're sloshing the water content of the body around. Really tuned into the fluidity. And then find the sweet spot where your head sits right on top of your neck, and there's no holding. And again, just go into that centered stillness, that sense of everything aligned and peaceful. Take a moment. And just take a moment with your hands together in namaste, that feeling of reverence for yourself, for taking time to release tension, to replenish the prana, the life force, to come into communion with yourself. Thank you so much for joining me. The love and light in me bows to the love and the light in you. Namaste.